God damn it, where the hell is that bus? I need a getaway ride from Puerto Rico after I kill Tippy with Love Live. For the 5th time. Oh, now it shows up. Takes it 4 goddamn months to get here. 5 more months and it will have entered the realm of Ryan's inactivity.
Is that any way for you to talk about the guy who stands between you and a wet ass blasting from a fellow named Queso Grande in a Puerto Rican prison cell?
Wait, Doll, why are you the bus driver?
Avi blew up my house, so now I live in a rundown bus. I don't know, I don't think we're really putting too much effort into this intro skit. Suck my ass.
Well, no time to question the quality of the skit now, so I'm just gonna... Thank God I'm out. And with no witnesses.
I don't want to know what happened. All I know is that this skit is going to kill me to edit. Blah blah, here's a commentary, let's begin.
But I didn't even write a witty bear that requires several keys.
Hello everyone, Vegan Thank you here, and welcome to my first commentary.
Oh my god, speak up! This video was hard to follow along to with you mumbling so much, participating in the try not to wake my parents up at the next Room Olympics. I get you want that gold medal, but come on, we're watching a commentary, not listening to ASMR.
On top of that, you see the visuals for this video? Yeah, this is how the commentary is made, folks. With a DU screen recorder and literally Google Images. Like, I get if you're trying to get into the future, but clearly something went wrong during the planning phase. So, to make this video presentable, we got Doodle to remake the entire thing.
Wait, I never agreed to this.
Shh, we'll talk about the money later. Just remake the entire video.
Dead!
Usually commentaries have right on opening gag. I am not going to for this video just because it's my first commentary. So let's get straight to the point. Video Games Central here. So and why do I have this name if I'm gonna be doing commentaries on this channel?
Oh dear, he's going unscripted, isn't he? Frick my life! Like, look, going unscripted isn't a bad thing by default, but that's only when you sound like you got your thoughts together and can make them on the fly. Which is not the case here, as throughout this video, you keep stumbling over your lines, having unnecessary pauses, and being generally unfocused with what's going on. And when something like that happens, maybe it's time to bring out a script.
And it still doesn't help that his mumbling tone proves to be one of the worst aspects of this intro, since I couldn't make out almost anything he said on my first viewing. I mean, I've seen quiet commentators before, but this took the $15 Walmart confetti cake for the last minute trailer trash wedding. Especially 8 seconds into the video where I still haven't been able to figure out what you said. Like, at all. I've had to rewatch certain segments of this video multiple times before trying to figure out what it was you even said. If you want to be a presenter, then this is something that you will have to fix.
And for the sake of what our video is that we're covering today, my avatar is gonna be Mario.
No! Super Funny Bros does not need a sequel!
Wait, didn't he already get a sequel as the bird who cost 9/11?
Wait, birds can melt steel beams? So, what does that mean a birdemic could do?
You already have videos like Mario's Mental making people mad, but Nico BBQ makes a Mario is not a hero video.
Aren't those memes?
Why, yes, they are memes. Just too bad Super Funny Bros never got the meme.
Well, if you had to choose between $400 and a meme, I think the choice is pretty obvious.
That's gonna be it. Now let's get into this first. Skipping the intro.
Was that a skip card? I couldn't tell because it was so haphazardly put in there with no indication to it being anything instead of a clip with just a bunch of Phoenix Wright interjections. I get that a skip card is the least of this video's problems, but this is seriously an easy fix because I know there are video editors for phone. No, not all of them are great, but they'd give you more to utilize than this, and combined with your strained audio duct in the middle of the clip, it could only give the audience the impression that you were playing Nico's intro before saying that you were going to skip this intro, which would have been pointless.
Skip.
Mario would usually go save the kingdom alone, or he would bring his brother Luigi with him. Recently, though, he decided to bring Toad.
God, buddy, I really can't stand your production. Combined with the fact that your screen recording and the audio is close to muted, here you have to shit sped up to almost incomprehensible speeds, and it gets really hard to understand what Nico is saying during this interjection. And this happens throughout the video, making watching it more of a chore than it needs to be.
Now, you people make all that fun and stuff, but trust me, there's nothing, and I repeat, nothing fun about getting killed over and over again by that goddamn plumber.
Alright, so Nico's point here is that Mario kills his soul when Mario Bros. Week 1. This is completely player choice.
False yelling! For those who want to get anger across, but don't want to wake mommy and daddy.
Also, why does it matter if it's player choice, since whether the player chooses to beat up his own helpers is completely irrelevant to what's being talked about. That being Mario beating up his helpers, which is still an option programmed into the game. So it would be fair to say that Mario is a bit of a dick.
Yeah, and while you are technically right that it is entirely up to the player to exploit this game's abusive cooperative function, there is one other thing to take into consideration. Now, I don't think we're supposed to take Nico's video too seriously, but I'd like to point out that the video game clips that Nico used show characters other than Mario jumping on each other's heads. Not only that, they're picking each other up and throwing one another onto higher platforms. This system wasn't designed to indicate abuse, but since that's the narrative that Nico is spinning, every other character is partaking in this action.
Let's go ahead and I'll take into consideration that why is this player choice? Not only does the player not have to kill them, and the people you're playing with could actually be good game, and 2, Mario doesn't even have to bring them along. Yeah, because it's possible, that should mean it's canon.
I mean, you could argue that the optional Toad companions not being canonical to the story can also be applied to pretty much every Super Mario game with Luigi, since both games could just be played solo. And with this standard, we could make the case that the use of the word canon doesn't really apply to this type of gameplay, but that's not important. What's important is that Nico's point is built off of a scenario where there are at least 2 extra players, since Luigi and the Toads are kind of important to his argument. It's a specific situation where there are multiple people playing a session, since you're likely going to be using one another to traverse obstacles more often than when there's just 1 or 2 players. Again, we probably aren't supposed to be taking this video seriously, but even if we are, both of your points involving his first entry did nothing to disprove what he had said.
Furthermore, this point is all based on a hypothetical to argue another hypothetical at best. Sure, there's nothing saying it's canon, but there's also nothing saying that it's not, and by this logic we could just spew any old thing that can be tied back to a hypothetical to try and disprove Nico's point. Like, there's nothing saying that the pit kills the companions to begin with. In fact, in Super Mario Maker, we can hear noises sometimes when just Mario alone falls to the bottom.
So what do you think is at the bottom of the pit?
Hopefully the fucking point.
I like to believe it's casinos and strippers.
Even better!
And also, this can be said about the other characters. Going at Mario specifically for this does not help your case.
Are you trying to infer that because the other characters do it too, that automatically negates Mario doing it being evil? Because if so, that's dumb. Like, really dumb. All that would mean is that Toad and Luigi are also evil. That wouldn't negate Mario's villainy in any manner of form. Hey, just because other people shoot others, that suddenly makes what Elliot Roger did not that bad, right? Poor taste?
Honestly, I preferred it if IMDb shot up another overpass.
During his quest, Mario collects what the game makers call power-ups. These power-ups contains one that is a mushroom. This can be seen as being a magic mushroom, as it makes Mario feel bigger and stronger. But what if Mario collected all of those mushrooms because he is addicted? Yes, Mario is a drug addict. He is on a quest to rescue a princess, so he needs all of his head, of course. Yet, he collects tons of mushrooms, so that's proof that Mario is completely addicted to a drug named Magic Mushroom.
Okay, next point is Mario is a drug addict. No. No. Let's start with your own footage / video proves you wrong. You say, what if I told you that this was a drug called magic mushroom and say, yes, Mario is a drug addict. While MatPat may make up his own evidence, at least he provides it.
Yeah, sure he does. Ain't that right, Sans?
I'm joining the LCC. Fuck this stupid honky-tonk fucking Cloud Palace CC diaper bullshit.
Anyways, you do realize that the comparison isn't as far off as you're making it out to be, as mushrooms are commonly referred to as magic mushrooms, which when putting the effects of mushrooms outside of the Mario universe into consideration, many of them can cause a hallucinogenic reaction to the person who eats the mushroom.
Like the feeling of growing. You know, as an example.
Shrooms themselves contain quite a few psychedelic compounds in them, including a very common one called psilocybin, which causes one to feel euphoric and alters the mind when consumed. This specific compound exists in over 200 types of mushrooms. I mean, even if it is an absurd concept, there are still a lot of connections that can be made between Mario mushrooms and drugs, since psychedelic mushrooms are so common in the world, which is why this long-running joke exists to begin with.
Which, considering how the mushroom is pretty much one of Mario's most iconic power-ups, really does strengthen the point that Mario needs to take a mushroom intervention.
I'd also like to bring up a secondary point you could be making. That being how the video evidence doesn't show that Mario is addicted to shrooms. And in which case, were you watching the same video? Nico's evidence showed Mario doing almost nothing but collecting the mushrooms provided throughout the kingdom. So I fail to see how that's demonstrating negative evidence. You also conveniently ignore how Nico says the mushroom could be seen as the magic mushroom, and not that it was.
Also, how the fuck does MatPat make up his own evidence? The Mario games he uses as examples exist, right? His theory on Mario being a sociopath specifically used examples from these games. It's quite difficult to make up evidence about video game characters like this, especially when you kinda have to default to examples from these games. If he was just able to make up his own evidence, he'd either have to lie about what the games contain, or just completely fabricate gameplay sessions or cutscenes. I'll call it poor wording on your part, but I still don't quite get what the original point was supposed to be.
Plus, collecting the mushrooms in general is player choice.
Yes, but there is a massive amount of incentive to get them. I mean, Mario dies if he hasn't had his shrooms. That's an addict.
I'm still trying to set up the intervention for a reason, you know.
If someone is skilled enough, it can be the entire Mario game without collecting a single mushroom. While it may be difficult for some people, it's not possible for others.
So, we're back to hypotheticals debunking hypotheticals again? Yeah, fucking cut that shit out, please. You even acknowledge not every player is skilled enough to do it without collecting a single mushroom, thus meaning typically a player will more than likely need one, and others will need more than one, which would imply an addicted to shrooms given Nico's purposeful non-logic.
Also, I get the feeling that you don't know how to properly use a hypothetical, as hypotheticals are usually made in order to help an argument, not be the actual argument itself, as if said hypothetical is weak, then it results in the argument crushing and burning faster than the two towers. Fucking flying over idiocy.
A typical Mario adventure goes like this. Complete a couple of levels, then enter a castle and defeat the enemy inside. But once he has completed that, it seems that Mario enjoys to completely destroy the castle. Why does he do that? Once the enemies are away from the castle, there's literally no reason to completely destroy it. I mean, it's historical landscape, Mario. A king once lived in that castle. Do you really have to destroy everything? I bet all of the Toads are going to have to build that back up while Mario slacks off eating cake.
Now his next point is, Mario destroys the castles in Super Mario World and forces Toads to build them back up. No, these are Bowser's castles, meaning that destroying them is actually a good idea, so the Koopalings can't just take control of the castle again.
But if Mario didn't want the Koopalings to take over the castles, then why didn't he get better security for the castle? Since destroying the thing that you're trying to protect is kinda counterproductive, don't you think? And besides, even if it's Bowser's castles, Mario is still destroying property, even after killing the Koopalings via drowning them in lava.
And your own footage proves you wrong, as you play as Luigi almost the entire time.
I mean, I can see the confusion considering the sprite for the characters constantly shifts between Mario and Luigi's throughout Nico's clips, but the gameplay clips used in Nico's video clearly state in the game text that Mario destroyed the castle, so that's just outright wrong. And even then, why would it matter if he played as Luigi to begin with? Destroying the castle is the main point of this entry. The castle is still being destroyed by someone, meaning the issue with the action still stands. This doesn't disprove anything.
I mean, I even forgot to use this excuse, and even if this was canon, well, the blame could be taken towards Luigi as well.
This doesn't debunk anything. God damn it. Can you make one valid point towards anything? Not only is Luigi doing it not a point for Mario being a hero, or even a good guy, mind you, but I'd also like to point out again you're questioning whether or not it's canon, which, by the way, it is, considering Super Mario World may as well be canon to the rest of the Mario 2D platformer series. And that's the main thing you do in the game leading up to Bowser, well, minus the actual platforming. How can you be this ignorant of the very thing you're trying to defend?
Oh god, please tell me he's not going full Marcus Yamamoto on us. Cause I still have the nightmares from listening to that guy!
By the way, when are you gonna get to editing that?
Wario is often regarded as the bad version of Mario, being greedy and just wanting to get more money for his own purpose. But is Mario any better? In every Mario games you have to collect coins. However, you never use those coins to buy anything. So in the end, Mario keeps all of the money for himself. That would also explain why you never see Mario do his job, plumbing. He doesn't have to do plumbing. He's stealing all of the money lying around in the Mushroom Kingdom. At that rate, he's probably richer than the princess herself. He just hides it very well under that big mustache.
The next point is Mario is greedy. I mean that he uses coins, never uses them to buy anything. That's complete bull. Look at every Mario RPG.
Wow, that's a very interesting point to bring up. Guess what footage Nico's not showing? That's right, it's not porn. And also he's using New Super Mario Bros. 2 as an example. Since in that game, the player collects a shit ton of coins, with the game giving the player no purpose for collecting the coins. Thus being, Mario is effectively destroying the economy in whatever way Nico Nee's logic works.
And you want to know the sweet irony of you using the RPG series against this point? The fact that the RPG canon is actually totally different from the platformer canon. Good going. They're not a part of the very thing that Nico has up to this point been talking about. For a guy who wants to claim nothing is canon, the minute you try to claim something is, you use shit that actually isn't. Tell me I'm not the only one swallowing the metallic letter.
Oof, this video is dying more quickly than Doll.
Yeah, that's good shit, Key. Now, tell me something.
Do you like your dick not being stapled to your face?
And even in the main series, which the main point you're using is New Super Mario Bros. 2. No. Even in the main Mario games, every 100 coins, Mario traded in for life. Meaning the most coins Mario can have is 99.
I mean, sure, he does have a limit of 99 in the first game, but that still doesn't change the fact that he's hoarding more coins, even after he reaches his limit. The limit just resets. Regardless if there's a limit or not, Nico's point still stands.
Not to mention, the 99 limit doesn't apply to New Super Mario Bros. 2, as in that game, you're given a coin counter that could go about as high as 9,999,999, meaning that the game lets you collect way more cash than you let on. And while yes, the coins do give you a 1-up, which I can argue is just a typical game mechanic that every 2D platformer uses, but most of the time, the coins are going into the plumber's pocket, like Central, please start thinking I'm starting to get an aneurysm over here.
And the biggest offender to your point, Super Mario 64, where if Mario gets damaged, the coins heal him. Yeah, definitely useless.
That's not his point. Quit being a doof. His point was that Mario doesn't use his coins to buy anything, thus keeping it all to himself. Being greedy. Like, no matter how you slice it, whether or not he heals up due to his gathering of coins or not, he's still keeping the coins to himself, and Nico's point still stands there laughing at your face.
Luigi thrives to be like his brother Mario, because Luigi sees Mario as his hero. Poor Luigi, he's trying so hard to impress Mario, as we can see in his secret diary in the Paper Mario games. How does Mario thank Luigi for always being there for him? By not giving a f***. At the end of New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Luigi is being the good guy and keeping the door open for Mario and the princess. And how does he get thanked? By being left there on the ground alone. Even when they're not in an adventure, when they're just playing sports, Mario makes fun of Luigi. Just look at this example from Mario Power Tennis. He pretends to be happy for Luigi, but then he makes fun of him by standing on his feet. He clearly wants to send a message to Luigi. Don't mess with my kingdom, boy.
To this point, Mario treats Luigi like crap. No. Well, yes, Luigi wants to go on an adventure with Mario a lot in Paper Mario series, and I know what I'm gonna say, Paper Game. His intro stated that the newest Mario game coming out was Super Mario 3D World. At least 2 years away from Paper Game, meaning that we had no idea that the Paper Mario series wasn't part of the main series.
Okay, I have no idea what you're even going on about anymore. Since the way you structured this point was so off that I literally can't wrap my head around this mess of words you call a point.
Also, your low, mumbling tone once again makes a lot of this hard to decipher, and from what I was able to understand, it was just a rambling mess that went nowhere. Why bring up Paper Jam in this instance? Why did it matter that this game was released 2 years after the upload of Nico's video? You had an apparent reason stated afterward, but again, I couldn't hear it well enough to make heads or tails of it, and it just didn't seem to connect to the next point you're going to make about Mario and Luigi games.
So, what? Well, you can use this, yet, as we've shown with the entire Mario and Luigi series, Mario and Luigi have a strong, near unbreakable bond. Meaning that this point is... Anyway, but I'm going to use... And I'm going to cover the examples.
And once again, you didn't even directly refute anything that Nico said. Nico's main examples just show that Mario treats him poorly, gives him a hard time, and showcases his dickish nature towards Luigi. Sure, the Mario and Luigi side games build on the relationship as brothers, but take Nico's examples into consideration. Mario does appear to treat his brother poorly. I mean, it is mostly played for laughs and just tends to be lighthearted in nature, but Nico's point does still stand. You bringing up these side games once again does not necessarily prove him wrong. And you've all started to notice a recurring issue by now. We're about 9 minutes into this video, more than halfway done, and none of his interjections have actually debunked Nico's entries or even proved that he's wrong. He defaults to the same arguing tactic repeatedly, as we've been pointing out, and it's just a flimsy tactic to resort to.
Let's see here. Probably the air balloon just flew off. The door closed by itself. Nobody pulled a string to take the air balloon off the ground.
Alright, good to hear, but why does this matter exactly? Well, sure, one of Nico's examples is off, but that doesn't really deteriorate from his main point that Mario still treats his brother like shit. So while you aren't wrong about this, from what I gathered, your point doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things.
I wouldn't say it's correct, per se. It's just not entirely wrong either. It's just assumptions that are inconsequential to this whole thing. But, maybe that's just me.
And the final point, I'm not even gonna try or one even at Mario Power Tennis was canon. Simply sibling rivalry. Let's move on to the next point.
You know, just because they're siblings doesn't mean the dickishness goes away. A sibling rivalry still means someone's gonna be a dick.
Yeah, sibling abuse is still abuse, regardless of if it's just sibling rivalry. Like, I could punch my little brother in the shoulder and you could just write that off as just, oh, sibling rivalry. That's just what siblings do, but that doesn't justify that I just slugged my little brother in the shoulder. I'm still responsible for it, and I'm still picking on him being a dick.
In the early years of Mario, he used to climb up ladders to rescue Pauline, a random girl captured by the evil Donkey Kong. Eventually, he would rescue her, so at that moment in time, you'd figure everything will be alright. Well, of course not. Mario then decides to capture the monkey, forcing his son to rescue him. Now, what Donkey Kong did may not be nice, but it's not a reason to act the same, Mario. Revenge is never the answer to anything.
So yeah, Nico's next point is that Mario's vengeful. 2 words. This is Mario's father, Donkey Kong Jr. As the ending of the same game that you just used to prove your point shows, in his version, Jumpman, as you think it's Mario in this game, dies.
Did he just use game theory as a way for trying to debunk Nico's point?
Actually, it was Noggin, but yeah.
You have got to be shitting me right now. For starters, they're theories. As in, actually not canon. As in, people who don't work at Nintendo made these theories. As in, using these fan theories doesn't do shit and could have been cut out of your video entirely.
Now, a potential counter-argument you may have is that Nico BBQ's entire video was mere fan theory, and you would be correct, but that's why you have to provide evidence from the games themselves. Either screenshots from the games, maybe a manual, you know, the works. Because trying to debunk fan theory with fan theory goes nowhere, as either are what-ifs at best by that point. Oh, and side note, I love how you're blatantly copping out with using Noggin, yet you don't link Noggin's theory in the description, nor do you credit Noggin in any manner. As Key said, there's no telling if Jumpman's death actually connects to the rest of the games in a more canonically tangible form, and if you're not using Noggin, then show us what you're talking about, else I'm gonna have to assume.
Now some may say, well, there's a timeline, this has to be at the end then. I present to you this. How could Cranky Kong exist?
So you practically confirm you're using Noggin. Wonderful.
Also, what? I mean, if you're using a fan theory to make this point, as Key and Doodle pointed out, this wouldn't make Cranky Kong not exist? He's still an established character from another game series. I just can't follow any of this. Your point didn't give me any elaboration or any sort of insight. I'm completely confused. Cranky Kong's connection to this theory doesn't destroy the fabric of what Nico says, so why did you make this point?
Well, Dull, it's simple. It's cause fuck actual thoughts.
Jonah.
I'm just gonna use a theory, call it a day, then fuck a furry.
You know what? Considering where this video has gone, that completely makes, wait, what about Jonah?
The DK series are still in the Mario series. It's just some spin-offs. Meaning that, well, yes, they may not count in the official timeline. It just doesn't work. Okay?
So you even admit your point is flimsy. Are you real?
Guys, hold on. We might have found the next Cerberus. He'll take us to 3018.
When Mario and Luigi were babies, they were being carried by a stork to their parent. Unfortunately, something hit the stork and the babies were left on Yoshi's Island. Fortunately for them, the Yoshi family reunited the babies and everything went better than expected. That is, until Mario grew up. Now, nobody really remember when they were a baby, so Mario probably doesn't recall all the help Yoshi brought, but that is not a reason to treat Yoshi like he does. He basically hits Yoshi on the back of its head to force him to do what he wants to do. That's animal abuse right there, and what is worst, if Mario messes up, he will sacrifice his pet friend just to stay alive. Why, Mario? Why? After everything Yoshi did for you. Why?
Because next point about Mario is apparently an animal abuser. Oh joy. Official art for Super Mario World, Super Mario Galaxy 2 shows that Mario clearly points. And also, your own footage proves that this is not only entirely player choice.
Hey, Key, did you perchance spike our punch with Nightmare Fuel before recording?
What? No, I was gonna do that after the video. Wait, I don't think I was meant to say that out loud. Doodle, cut this part out!
Oh, was it you?
Maybe?
Then why did you give us this weak sauce shit? Everything looks the same.
That the player has to do this, not Mario. You had the super cape in your footage. And what did you do? You lasted up the time that you were in the air just so you could kill Yoshi for your footage.
Wait, so you're telling me Nico is pre-Logan Paul? Well, shit, where was the media coverage back in 2013? Also, how do we know that this is even Nico recording? Like, there are tons of videos on Super Mario World out on YouTube basically showing off Yoshi genocide. And this still doesn't take away from the fact that you could still kill Yoshi in the game, and not because of tax fraud.
Unlike my boy Kirby, who always does his taxes.
In almost every Mario Adventures, Mario saves Princess Peach. That must mean that she is his girlfriend, right? I mean, she bakes him cakes, she kisses him, she seems to enjoy spending time with the dude. Well, Mario also saves other princesses. In Super Mario Land, he saves Princess Daisy, and when he saves her, he proceeds to say, "Oh, a daisy! A daisy!" And then she thanks him, and there are a bunch of little hearts flying around. Wait a minute. How many girlfriends do you have, Mario? Cause in the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series, Mario hangs around with a girl named Pauline, who is kind of sexy. Now, I believe in the theory that women and men can be friends and nothing more, but Mario, you already have 2 women. Can you just enjoy it? Do you really need more?
Hee, I got it!
Okay, this point. This point. Mario just got the adventure. So, where he had to drive a submarine and fighter plane for the first time. Yeah, don't you think that would be a bit tiring? Make you say, let me just catch my breath a bit, where you would repeat one word, or maybe even several. Pauline, as I've already proven, is Mario's mom.
So, you said about 3 different points, and all 4 of them were wrong. Alright, so where to begin? Who'll take the plain point, who'll take the Pauline point, and who'll take the point regarding this being the most pointless bullshit this side of Albuquerque?
Starting off with the plane point, how would driving a submarine and plane somehow equal being so tired that you repeat the same thing twice? Since for one, driving a vehicle isn't that draining unless it's one of those power it yourself kind of deals, but it's not, so your face. As well as how Mario repeats Daisy's name twice, which is similar to how a lovesick boy would repeat the name of his crush, which you would see in a romantic film.
Now, if you will quickly indulge me, what the fuck did you just make me watch? What was any of that? You're proving to me that you can't go unscripted with this weird little meandering train of thought that led you to portraying someone out of breath to make a point about Mario not being a player. The main point you brought up here is just stretching for an interjection for the sake of making an interjection. I know it's starting to sound like a broken record at this point, but normally I don't see this happen so often with newer commentators. They usually have the sense to not resort to using multiple fan theories as an interjecting point. And hell, hopefully some of them have the sense to do a retake or just find a way to not make such a weird interjection about Mario's breathing patterns to disprove that he's a player.
Finally, the point about Pauline. Oh boy. So, reminder that all of this comes from a fan theory that implies that Jumpman is Mario's father. Going off of this theory, 1, how is Pauline still a theoretical jazz waifu as she doesn't seem like she aged a day in Super Mario Odyssey, whereas your theory implies Donkey Kong in the arcade games grew up to be Cranky Kong, throwing this whole thing into question. And 2, if we were to use this theory and keep it in play, that would not at all explain March of the Minis in a way that wouldn't seem like Mario doesn't have an Oedipus complex. Because the story of March of the Minis is that Mario presents Pauline with a miniature Mario as a token of love, which was demonstrated in Nico's very footage that you seem to be quite clearly ignoring. Meaning that if Pauline is Mario's mother, even if we were to use this theory, Mario would still be cheating on Peach, thus making this fan theory more worthless than it already was. Good going. And that's the end of his video, or at least that's what I would say if this wasn't a goddamn two-parter.
Excuse me, but I didn't sign up for a two-parter.
Then wait in the corner, Doll and I can just co-op on it.
Hey, you weren't taking my skeleton away.
And so began the 35th commentator custody battle of the year. Nobody won that battle that fateful day. In fact, none of them made it out alive. Not even DallSmick.
Alright guys, just gonna say this, Eric, when you watch part 1, saying that that's where the majority of my arguments are going to be before you watch part 2. Now so, literally after ending the video, I realized that this account is the one where, well, I can record for more than 15 minutes, so I actually probably couldn't finish the video.
You could also speak the fuck up, but, you know.
Ah, come on, he's clearly trying not to wake up his parents. I mean, have you seen what they could do with a hammer?
I've seen what two guys can do with a hammer. Can't imagine it's any different.
Kinky.
There's one mission in Mario 64 in which Mario is meant to save a penguin and its baby. That sounds lovely and nice, and it can be. However, Mario doesn't stop there. Once he brings back the baby penguin to its mother, he receives a power star. So at that point you'd figure he'd grab the power stars and leave the family to enjoy their time spent together. Well, no! Mario then proceeds to grab the baby back from the mother, who tries to defend it the best it can, and then Mario does the unforgivable. Oh god, I cannot look at this. Oh my god, why would you do that, Mario, you monster? Oh my god.
Okay, this entire point is entire player choice, but why does this point tick me off so much? He uses the coin for Mario being greedy, yet the final game that he gets footage for, not the final game, the game that he gets footage for this point, Mario 64, completely destroys his argument. It's proof, ladies and gentlemen, he's cherry picking.
I'm sorry, what did you just say to me? Cause not a single bit of that made any sort of sense. Like, how on earth does him using something from New Super Mario Bros. 2 completely destroy his point here? Mario being greedy has nothing to do with Mario killing innocent lives. Like, maybe there was some sort of connection here, but guess who forgot to explain that little connection?
He's cherry-picking Mario killing penguins, except no? Cool Cool Mountain is the only time we see baby penguins in Super Mario 64. Like, maybe I'm mishearing you, because, you know, fuck actually enunciating, but something cherry-picking a Mario game doesn't debunk Nico in the slightest, I think.
Some of you may think I'm overthinking this whole Mario thingy, so let's go back to the original game that started the legacy, Super Mario Bros. Now, this game has no real in-game backstory, it's pure platforming goodness. So, Mario cannot do anything wrong in that one, right? Well, according to the game manual, the story goes like this. One day, the kingdom of the peaceful mushroom people was invaded by the Koopa. The quiet, peace-loving mushroom people were turned into mere stones, bricks, and the mushroom kingdom fell into ruin. Now excuse me, the mushroom people are toads, okay? And if they were turned into stones and bricks, does it mean what I think it means? Yes, every time Mario breaks a block, he kills a toad. He kills another human being! Yes, by the time Mario rescued that little single toad in Castle 1-4, he already killed over 50 other toads already. How many innocent people have to die just so you can get your girlfriend back, Mario? When are you gonna stop this madness?
Here is his next point. He is a serial killer because every time you break a block, kill a toad. 1. A Super Mario mini comic made for the original game prove that blocks were man-made.
Nice evidence there, buddy. Care to show us where it's at?
Actually, Doodle, I know the comic that he's talking about, and no, that comic doesn't show that the blocks were man-made. As looking at the comic that came in the manual, the comic shows Bowser turning one of the toads into blocks, thus supporting Nico's claim that the blocks are toads transformed by Bowser. But then again, I could be talking about the wrong comic, since Games is so fake with this point that no one can follow along with what he's saying, but I've come to expect that from him.
For someone to be a serial killer, they have to enjoy killing the innocent. One is run by the Super Mario Bros. Anime, which was based off the original game that Mario doesn't know about the curse. Why? There is a character in the anime movie that tells Mario about the curse, who doesn't exist in the games.
Oh, so a character that only exists in the anime doesn't exist in the game? Even though we're talking about Mario in the games and not in the anime? Thus making you bringing this up pointless? Since stuff outside the games doesn't affect the actual game itself? Peachy.
Also, serial killers do typically enjoy killing to some unhealthy and sexual degree, but the baseline attribute of a serial killer is that they have to have killed 3 or more people, and this argument is based on flimsy reasoning that ties with an anime. I don't know much about the Mario series, let alone a Mario anime that well, but if Mario did know about the curse, and if the toads die from being broken by Mario, then this wouldn't really negate a lot of what Nico just said?
And even if a serial killer was just someone who likes killing, well, I mean, we don't know if Mario enjoys breaking the blocks. Dude may have a hardcore boner for property damage.
Wait, is committing property damage even a kink?
I mean, if it exists, it's gotta be someone's fetish.
The internet was a mistake.
Anything. This was real life. We would be charged with manslaughter, which is really just maybe a couple years in prison. You guys tell that this YouTube thing is only a hobby if I can't become a lawyer, if this YouTube thing flops.
Honestly, I'm more afraid if you do become a lawyer.
My client couldn't have possibly pulled out a knife and stabbed that victim, for you see, it was player choice and not canon! I'll be accepting autographs, accolades, and complimentary blowjobs at the end of the trial. Thank you.
Well, outside of some pretty hilarious final thoughts, there's not much else to the video, so you guys want to just, move on to ours?
Well, player choice dictates that I go first, and God knows I'm not in a position to oppose. I'm really at a loss. For one thing, it's an interesting choice to do your first commentary on a joke video of all things, but damn near every interjection is built off the same premise. If you're making a commentary where damn near every interjection is a variation of player choice and it's not canon or just referring to some fan theory, then you desperately need to reevaluate how you do your content. This repetition is overkill, and I've never seen a commentary do it this bad before. Not even any of my older commentaries. I don't know if you're done with commentaries, but if you do ever want to continue them, please try to find material that doesn't have you loop like a scratch CD. Also, speak up, please. If I had a nickel for every time I had to rewatch a 10-second stretch and or not understand what you said after more than 5 rewinds, I'd already been scammed by 5 Nigerian princes wanting a return to their homeland.
I have no idea what any of this video was, since all I got from watching this mess was a commentator who had no idea on what he's doing. As throughout this video, you just ramble over your words saying the first thing that came into your mind while watching Nico's video. Like, piece of advice, if you can't do unscripted, then please bring a script, since that can at least make this thing more bearable to watch. And honestly, that's all I could really bring up, since Dal pretty much said everything I wanted to say, so Pangy.
My final thoughts? Blah. Honestly, with everything that has been said, I just want you to speak the fuck up in the future, then we can work from there.
Wait, I just realized, if Dal is here in the back of the bus, then who's driving the bus now?
Oh shit!
Well, there went my ride and my skeleton.
And there goes my house. Again.
Oh, Dal, you act like that actually means anything in the grand scheme of things. Speaking of which, where is everything? Like, did we break the video or something? Well, since it's just pure audio at this point. According to all known laws of aviation, there's no way that a bee should be able to...